See the red? From my friends and family, for YouTube, I hope it makes to YouTube. I'm at my home here in AAA. I never got to thank Conan on a YouTube video personally for being the one guy when I was in jail and in rehab for smoking way too much pot. He was the only guy that really helped me out and listened to me and tried to help me through some tough times. We all have tough times in our lives. And I wanted to quit wrestling really bad. And I didn't want to work out anymore. And I didn't want to do my routine, which was always just like a maintenance routine. And that helped me be able to show up at shows, even though I don't wrestle that much at home. Show up at shows anytime, any place, anywhere, and usually put on a pretty good match. And I was personally disappointed with my performance in Mexico for the 2 years I was out here. I didn't have that many bad matches. I had some really good matches, but I wasn't close to myself. And I was depressed still about being let go from the WWE and certain things that had happened with Brett. And I thank Brett, too, because he's back on TV again, and he's relevant, which helps me down here and helps TJ. So thank you, Brett. But this one's more about AAA and Conan, so back to my little story. I was in jail and I was in rehab and I got to see Razor Ramon, and I told Razor Ramon I was friends with Conan. And he said, get him on the phone so I can hear that out of his mouth, because you're a flashy fucker. You're probably talking a little bit too much to Razor, who just had a heart attack, but he was nice enough to listen to some of my stories, and I listened to a lot of his stories too. And because Conan vouched for me, he was nice enough to let me eat with him and talk to me like a friend. And that was a big thing for me, because he was one of the guys I looked up to. And I've watched a lot of the guys I looked up to pass away. And I've been to some pretty shitty funerals. And Conan, he's tasted the death card a couple times and walked through it. And smiling the next day, still talking about the thing he's dedicated his life to the most, which is wrestling and progression of wrestling. Wrestling getting better and evolving. Getting better guys, better gear, better screens, the whole thing that encompasses wrestling, not just the wrestling. Conan's, I see him and he's so busy and tired, and I used to not know what he was doing. And same thing with Brett. I know how much extra work it takes to worry about all the other things instead of just worrying about yourself. You guys had a whole family of guys to worry about, a foundation to build. And I'm happy to be part of the Hart Foundation still, but I'm happy to be down here in Mexico, to be the one Hart that was good enough to stay down here, and the AAA liked enough to put up with my headaches and my bullshit and my schedule and my girlfriend at the time, who was a headache, and the lack of being able to communicate. That's another thing I apologize for, is the laziness of not learning Spanish. I'm dedicating this year and every other year that I'm down here, because I plan on spending the rest of my life in AAA and doing the right thing, which is to the only company. Somehow I couldn't even make PWI top 500 wrestlers, yet there's probably 5,000 wrestlers, if they knew how to get here, would love to be here in my spot, that aren't. And I like to think it's because of ability, but ability only gets you this far. Take it from me, guys, all you guys that practice a lot of moves, psychology, taking your behind-the-scenes stuff real serious, being humble, and being thankful and grateful. Even if I sometimes come across as an arrogant prick, and it's not my intention. I try to have a certain ego to match the gimmick. Also a certain amount of pride that I'm carrying on a third-generation name. It's Stu Hart, and Bret Hart, and Owen Hart, and Davey Boy Smith, and Brian Pillman, and Chris Benoit, and Dynamite Kid all came from the same foundation I came from. So I have a certain attitude, you could say, and it's taken wrong a lot. And Conan was nice enough to get to know me, and he saw me for what I hope the world will see me for eventually, as a great wrestler that tried to make a whole bunch of guys look good, on top of getting myself over too. And I spent a lot of time on the little things in wrestling no one realizes. It's making sure there's a bridge that you build behind you that other guys can get in on. And Conan's the guy that never burned the bridge. And Brett's rebuilding the bridge now, so hopefully TJ and D.H. Smith and maybe myself someday in the future can work a program where I challenge the WWE to come into Mexico to fill that building, 150,000 people, and let one time a year or once every 4 years some sort of World Cup of wrestling happen, where the best wrestlers in the world get to pick and choose the match they think is going to be the most entertaining, their dream match. And we all put our money together, and it's our own show. And it's done by Conan, and it's done by Rey Mysterio Jr., and it's done by Shawn Michaels, and it's done by Triple H, and it's done by some of the great guys in Japan. Maybe Muda. I don't know that much about Japanese wrestling, so I'm not going to drop a bunch of names like I'm relevant, because I'm not. I know Mexico, I know the States, I know Canada. I know there's a lot of great workers right now that AAA is about to let expose themselves in a proper way, so they can get the time, which is the energy of the people, in a proper atmosphere, like getting steak and lobster in a 5-star restaurant rather than getting steak and lobster in a box. AAA is now serving a 5-star meal. I was just at Triple Mania. That show was phenomenal. That's going to kick everyone's ass in the future to move forward and keep doing what Conan said was possible when this company was just small, just a seed. They had to water that seed. A lot of guys dedicated their lives. A lot of guys lost their lives. A lot of people have spent their fucking time, energy, and effort, and a lot of Mexican people making AAA popular, making it relevant, making it mean something. That when you wake up Saturday or Sunday, you want to watch it. That enough people still watch it on YouTube, Galavision. However you guys drop the ball, it should be back on Galavision soon. I know it'll be on American TV soon, and my goal is to then get AAA on Canadian TV. And again, make Conan, Antonio Pena, Octagon, Vampiro, Maricela, the Dad, Rodan, or whatever the other name is that you have, because I've called you 2 different names, and you've always treated me good. And I'm from the hood in my country, Canada. I've struggled, and I emerged. I came from a school called Notre Dame in Wilcox, Saskatchewan. A little shithole school that produced a lot of great athletes. Some made the NHL, some played the CFL, some are professional wrestlers. They put my picture on their wall of fame. I hope to put my name and my picture on the wall of fame in AAA. I hope Conan trusts me enough to give me the big push that my ability and hopefully my attitude now allows me to get. But if you don't know the guy in the back that's dedicated his life to owning the company, letting the company go and coming back as an employee of a company that he started, and building his way back up to the top with trust and integrity and results. The results are ratings, guys. Conan gets the best ratings for a guy that had no help. Mexico's a very difficult place to get everybody to come together and be on one page, and he's done it. And I'm fucking proud, and I'm proud of my heart. I'm proud of my soul, that I still have my heart and my soul, that I'm in AAA, that I'm not lost, miserable, thinking that I'm living my dream because I'm collecting a check. Money's not the key to happiness, guys. I have money, and I was more miserable with money sitting on my ass driving a Lamborghini, driving a Jaguar, driving a BMW, thinking I was large from investments I'd made on WWE money when I was 18 years old and fucking stupid and lazy then. Thank God my dad and some of my friends could foresee the future, and most wrestlers are morons and waste their money. I didn't get to waste my money, so I have a little bit of a foundation when I'm 30 to build my school, the new Hart Dungeon, AAA Canada. Me and Conan have already got 10 different people out of their bullshit lives, their little box, and got them to get on an airplane, come to the biggest city in the world, and enjoy and experience lucha libre. Wrestling a sport, guys, that it's not going to die. It's living, breathing, and growing here like a virus that's not going to stop. And there's no cure for good luck. There's no cure for good looks. There's no cure for hard work, integrity. You have to have these things. AAA represents the future, guys, for anyone that wants to take gymnastics lessons. Live your gimmick. Spend your time on your hair, your makeup, your gear. It's your life. It's real. The people out here know what wrestling's about, and they notice every idiosyncrasy that you think maybe they didn't notice. They notice, because their money's worth a lot, guys. They don't get close to as much money to spend on entertainment as we do in Canada and the States. Yet there's 20,000 people every time there's a big show in Mexico, and I haven't got 1,000 people to show up in Canada for 10 years. It's a shout out to Canada. It's a shout out to indies everywhere. Mexico was an indie at first. Now it's the second biggest promotion in the world, and WWE is happy to come to Mexico because the realest fucking fans on earth are here. My gimmick is that you guys are still confused because a Canadian came down to Mexico and studied all your best guys' shit and came in here and ate your lunch without a mask. And like Conan did, and a couple others, I have Mexican blood in me because I eat your food, I drink your water, I love your women, and I love the people that are polite, that carry a cross, that work hard, that respect lucha libre, pro wrestling, American, Japanese, Hart style, universal soldier, martial arts, gymnastics, a good memory, dancing. You got to be a fashion expert to be a wrestler. You got to be a sewer. You might want to be a pilot so you can fly your own plane from show to show to show. Being a wrestler doesn't mean you're just a guy walking to the ring in a pair of boots with long hair and a tattoo. It's a whole bunch of things that encompass being a wrestler, guys. I still don't call myself a wrestler till I do 3 months down here in Mexico and the people know my name again. Then YouTube can say Teddy Hart's back on the map. Right now I've been dipping and going back to Canada because it's smart. Canada's the last place left to start. And you guys better wake up because I'm coming with the Shriners, I'm coming with the RCMP, and I'm coming with AAA Canada. So Canada, this is the last Hart left talking to you guys. And Conan, thank you for relighting my career and giving me the power to go back to the country I love and try to do something my grandfather started, which is Stampede Wrestling, next generation Stampede Wrestling done by AAA Canada with Conan running shit behind the scenes. And Teddy Hart getting to go out there and show the Alberta people that the best wrestlers in the world still come from Alberta. Jack Evans is considered an Albertan because most of his training happened there. So I'm still a U.S. citizen and I love the States, but I consider myself more Mexican than I do American. But it doesn't mean I appreciate the Mexican wrestlers that haven't innovated or elevated their careers to any level except hiding behind their mask and the fact they're Mexican, and a bunch of the people are so proud that there's a Mexican in the ring, they cheer for him no matter how bad he is. That's a shout out to you guys to get better. Go to the gym, take the supplements that are available and legal to do, and take advantage of your time. And then maybe you'll get some guy like me to shout out to you, like I shout out to Samurai Del Sol, or Jack Evans, or Joe Leader, or Nichos, or Rey Mysterio Jr., Undertaker, or Triple H, or Tyson Kidd for still going, or CM Punk for making wrestling interesting again. Because I don't know what you're going to say. Bryan Danielson, again, tough gimmick, made it, awesome. And you have everybody saying yes, then everyone's going to say no. And you got those people in your hands. Thank God I was a little ahead of the game, and Bryan Danielson, I think, was in Mexico, part of the Hart Foundation, when me and Jack Evans were in Triple Mania, our first show. And CM Punk might have a tracksuit that I gave him. I think it's a Nike one, black and red. He may have worn it once. I hope a world champion thinks that I'm definitely the kind of guy that looks back and goes, shit happens, man. I hope I can be forgiven. I hope I can get a chance, not to work in your company, but to walk amongst a bunch of guys that call themselves professional wrestlers because your schedule is fucking impossible. And I shout out to any WWE guy that has that schedule. You guys are the ones that, like I say, keep the big door open for us underneath. Thank you very much. But appreciate the guys that still do all this crazy shit. Because all we're trying to do, guys, is keep wrestling alive, just as you are. We all have a job to do. Love the fans, love ourselves, take care of our friends and our family. And try to feed an animal if it's your fucking job and you bought one. Take care of it. God bless you, Teddy Hart. Conan, thanks so much, brother. Stu Hart, smart move bringing Conan to Canada. Michelle, thank you, brother.